everybody. Welcome to Love Talk. Thank you for joining us. Today we have Joby J. Joby J is an international singer, songwriter, and photographer as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
Joby, how are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. I'm so glad. I've been following you for a while, and I've been wanting you on my platform, and I was trying to guess the right time, and then I thought, you know what, there's never a right time. Just ask that.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming. All right, let's get right into it. I'm just gonna start with Big Girl Thing. Okay. I love that track. I love it so much.
Thank you.
From photography to Big Girl Thing, let me know how let me know how it worked out for you.
Yeah, all right. So I've always been a creative person, always been a artsy kind of person. So I chose to study photography in college because I wanted to study something that I knew that I could even start making money even before I left college. That's how I was thinking about it, right? I didn't want to be one of those people who, you finish college and then you're just like, oh, where do I get a job? I didn't want that to be me. So I wanted to do something that I'm sure that, I can make some money and actually have a career. So I did that. And I mean, I've always been singing. If I really think about it, I'm a singer first. I'm a musician first. But I just wanted to do something that I knew I could earn from first, because in Jamaica, it kind of takes some time when you do music for you to make money. And I've seen a lot of people who go to Edna to do music, study performance, and then when they leave, they're doing backup. And I didn't want that to be me, no shade to them. So I was doing photography, and in the midst of doing photography, I remember I used to do even like karaoke lives on my photography page on Instagram, because I always loved singing. I was still singing. I just was doing it like professionally. So I would do my little live karaoke, and then a couple of people would realize that, oh, Joby can sing and stuff like that. I remember even I used to link up with this girl from music school, and we would do like, little covers, and we record ourselves singing and stuff like that. So yeah, I was just, shooting. And the more I got to know myself, the more I surrounded myself with people who loved music and, just loved the culture in general, I realized that, I really want to do this. Because even when I used to go to college, when the music students would have their recitals and their final year shows and their concerts and all, I would always go to them and watch them, and I would always just see myself on the stage. Like, I would always just watch them and be like, Joby, I feel like you can do that. Talking to myself, like, I feel like I can do that. So yeah, it was just a matter of time. So I left college, and then I was just still shooting, and it just felt like the time. It just felt like, Joby, I feel like now is the time for you to really try and take up this music thing. And people have always been telling me from me young, because I've always been singing from little. So people have always been telling me, Joby, you should take this music thing serious, da 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 da. So it just felt right. It felt right, and I just followed it because I knew it was something that I wanted to do. It was scary because we don't know how it's going to go. The music industry is very overwhelming and a lot. But I like to follow my gut. If I get a gut feeling, I feel like I should follow it. So I just followed it, and here I am.
No man, your gut is honest.
Yes.
Believe me. So yeah. How did you go about building your team?
All right, cool. So when you say team, you mean like in terms of like the band?
Even team, like the entire team. Like, how did you go about finding a label, finding management, and?
Okay. All right. So when I look back at it, I really think I think I made the right decision to start when I started, because of how things happened. Even with my manager, like, things happened very organically. Like, it wasn't a forced thing, like, oh, I need a manager. It just happened organically. So even before I had my first single out, I asked Daniela to, just help me to put together some stuff, because I know that she has worked in the music industry. She can do arrangements, she has some musical, vocal knowledge. She can give me some advice, stuff like that. And I just have a person where if I know I have a if I know I'm not good in one area, I have no problem asking for help because I always want to try to do my best. And sometimes you can't do your best by yourself. Sometimes you need a help, look at advice, look at guidance. So I asked her, to help me put together some songs. I had a show coming up, and then she just ended up working with me for that show as well. So it just happened that, she was working along with me, helping me out. And then after I did Unplugged, everything just started to go up from there. I started to get interviews, started to, people started asking, when am I going to put out music, all of these things. And, I think she was just like, well, I'm doing all of this work for you. Might as well. Just be a manager. And then I was low-key like, yes, because I didn't really want to ask her because I knew that she already had a lot on her plate. But just the fact that she said it and I didn't ask her, I was just like, okay, maybe that's a sign. So that happened so naturally. And I mean, it's been great working with her so far. In terms of like my other team, it was really just people who just really believed in me and wanted to help me along. So even with my visuals in the beginning, I had Sivar helping me a lot with like photos and video work and stuff like that. And then in terms of like musicians, band and stuff like that, it was a journey because at first I had to, work with some people and feel them out. And over time, as I grew and got more shows and got more opportunities, I worked with different musicians. And I would say to Daniela, I like that musician. Or she would say, yeah, I like working with that person. And then that's how we just kind of put together who we know we're going to work with. So if I have any other show, these are the people who we're going to work with. So it's really just like a trial and error. You try people out, you feel out the energy, because that's also important for me. So if you're really good and you don't have good energy, or you're really good but you're not professional, like them something not gonna work. So it all has to match up for me, because when it's time for me to work, if it's rehearsal or whatever, I want to feel like there's good energy, because that can affect me as well. So it's really just a process of trying things out and seeing what feels right, seeing what works, and then just going forward. Yeah.
All right. So I want to get to your writing, but you mentioned earlier that about music school. You went to music school?
I went to an art school, and so I went to Edna Manley, and it's the School of the Visual and Performing Arts. So I went to visual art school, but there was also music school, dance school, drama school, and arts management. So I was surrounded by like a lot of creatives.
Yeah, and it shows in your fashion as well. I love your fashion.
Yeah.
I'm always looking out for your new look. Like I'm like, what should I go wear today? No, I'm serious. And like just your aura. And just like, I mean, like I said, I'm coming to your songwriting, but what's come to my mind straight away right now was your TVJ performance. Oh my gosh, my girl, I was like, oh, where she come from? I was like, where this girl come from? Because the thing about it is, okay, Jamaica has is for me, it's the birth of music. For me, it's where reggae come from, and the whole energy type of music come from. So Jamaica kind of already has the formula.
Yes.
So when you came in now, when I heard your sound, I wouldn't even call it. It's everything Jamaica, but it's your own.
Yeah.
So how does your writing style come about?
Wow, my writing style. I don't know where it comes from. Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know. I just feel like, because you see, sometimes when I write songs and when the song finish, I'm gonna look back on it, I'm just like, where this come from? Like, I don't know, like even Big Girl Thing. I wrote Big Girl Thing like so randomly. It was so random. I was literally just walking in my room, and I think I got some lines for the first verse. We say, I'm sorry if you never get to treat me like you want to treat me. I don't know where it come from. I don't know what it mean. I was just walking, and I got the lyrics, and I got the melody, and I was just like, okay. And I took a book and I wrote it down. And as the days went on, I just continued to build on it, add more. When I started writing it, I didn't know, as I said, I really didn't know what was happening. Never know what the song would name. I didn't know what the song would turn out to say, what the message would be. But I know I just felt it, I got inspiration, and I worked with it. So when that song was finished, and And that was like good while, because I wrote that song good while before I even made a decision to do music. I didn't even know that I was gonna do music. I just wrote this song because, I mean, I would write songs from time to time. And I got it and I finished it. And every time I look back on that song, I'm just like, wow, I can't believe I wrote that song. Like, I didn't even know it would turn out to be this like powerful anthem for women. Like, I didn't know it would turn out like that. So I can't really tell you where it comes from. I really just think it's a gift. And it's not to say, oh, I'm the best writer in the world, but I think just the fact that it just comes out of me so naturally to write music. I just really think that's amazing. So I don't know, I feel like also when I think about writing, I'm also somebody who like journals. I don't know if that, probably affects my writing. So from I was younger, my mommy used to give me like these little diaries and journals, and I would just practice like, write how I feel. Just write how I feel. Write about this a boy when I like at school. Write about oh my sister annoy me. Write about oh my day go. Write about me feel like mama don't love me right now because why she stressed me. I would just write. So I always, had that little habit, and then even now I still journal a lot. It's very important to me to just write how I feel, encourage myself, stuff like that. So I feel like maybe that added to my writing style. But when it comes to music and writing, I just like to write how I feel. It's just like journaling. It's just like you're putting it together in a structured way where people can relate to it and understand. So I just like to write how I feel. If there's something that I'm passionate about, something that I want to speak about, I try to write about it. And yeah, that's just really how it works with my music. I just go with the feeling and go with the vibe. I really try not to rush or force my writing process, which is something that I've had to learn, and which I'm still learning. I try to just let it happen. And I've gotten advice from other musicians to just say, Joby, when you're writing, sometimes I just have to take a break. Sometimes I feel like you have a little block. It's not necessarily that it's bad. Maybe sometimes your mind gone somewhere else, or your energy change, or maybe sometimes it's tired. Sometimes I just need to take a break from it and revisit it. And I think one of the best advice I've gotten was from Siobhan. I don't know if you know that singer, that Jamaican singer. And he was just like, Joby, sometimes have the experience here to finish the song. Sometimes the life experience not come yet, and probably that's why you start it and you can't finish it. And I was just like, that makes sense. So I just let it flow. I don't want to force it,
So can you play an instrument?
No. I used to do keyboard lessons when I was really young, and then I had to stop. And then I just, didn't take it up back. But I really want to learn. I really want to relearn to play the keyboard, because I'd really love to be like Alicia Keys and be able to play and sing. That's like a dream. So really want to learn.
Yeah, no, because the reason why I ask is because Big Girl Thing and Queen, they're quite reggae.
Yeah.
But then Mood is a whole different kind of real, it's kind of a different soul. It has a soulful feel to it. So that I'm really, really interested in your dynamic of music. What type of music do you listen to in your general? Who are your inspirations, musical inspirations in your general life?
All right. People always ask me that, because as much as how, I do reggae, it's not just reggae. It's like reggae with like other things dashing there, flinging there, mix up. It's a lot of sound and a lot of energy. So I listen to a lot of different type of music. So I think that comes out also in my music. I listen to a lot of like R&B, soul, neo soul. I love jazz music. I love reggae, of course. I love Afrobeats. I listen to a lot of that. I think the reason why my music is so like, can I say, diverse and has like different sounds intertwined is because, especially before I made the decision to do music, when I really started to like sing again and experiment with my voice, at that time I discovered jazz music. And I think it really influenced like how I sing and how I do my runs and all of that stuff. I discovered jazz music, so I was listening to a lot of like Nina Simone, Frank Sinatra. I was listening to Amy Winehouse and those kind of people, and I really, really fell in love with just like the style and how they sing and how they sound and just the whole energy they bring towards the singing. So I feel like that influenced me for sure. And then just the fact that from I was younger, you know, growing up to now, I just really love music. I was always listening to music, all kind of music, gospel music, you know, just all kind of music. So I think when I make my music, it comes out in that way, to have like a splash of this or a splash of that added to whatever base, you know, we're working with. So
right. So it's because you've broadened your horizons in the musical arena why you're able to, like, maybe when you're writing, a sound comes in, or when you're singing, when you're rehearsing, a sound comes in and you thought, oh, that sound good. Let's keep that. Yeah, all right. That sound nice. Now you mentioned that big girl thing is a kind of like an empowering song for women, and so is Queen. Is this now the type of movement what you're pressing is women empowerment?
You know, I think honestly, I don't really try to empower women. Like, it's not something that I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna empower women today. It just really happens naturally. It comes very, very naturally. It's not something that I force. And I think it comes naturally because it's really something that I believe in and something that I think should be done, you know. So as I said, when I wrote Big Girl Thing, I did not know how this song was gonna come out. I just know somebody get the little words. I'm gonna just write the song. You understand? I had no idea that it would even name Big Girl Thing. It just comes naturally out of me. Same when I wrote Queen. When I wrote Queen, I got the instrumental. And I started writing something else, but I never like it. I didn't like it. I was just like, I not feel this. And then I scratch it and I say, I'm gonna start over. And then Queen just happened, you know. It's not something I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna write about women empowerment in this song. I don't make a decision, it just comes naturally out of me because, you know, I really love women. I believe that women are special. I believe that we are, you know, just so special. And I feel like sometimes we're not appreciated enough. And sometimes we ourselves as women, we need a reminder that, you know, we are amazing, we're beautiful, we're strong, you know. So for me, that comes naturally. It just comes naturally. And the more I grow and the more I socialize with people, socialize with women, learn more about women, learn more about myself, it's just something that I keep just caring about, just women empowerment. So it really just flows naturally out of me. I don't think I'm ever gonna stop doing that, you know.
Yeah, because it comes natural.
Yeah.
All right, so let's pick up some producers. Who's producing your tracks for you?
All right, so Big Girl Thing, it was Barboy as well as my manager Daniela White. They really brought that song to life. Every time I listen to it, I'm just like, oh, wow, this is really a nice song. And it's not even like, you know, it's my song, you know, but you know, every now and then when I like stop and really listen to it, I'm just like, yeah, this is a really nice song. And when people say to me, oh, Joby, I really love the production on the song, I really love the instrumentation, I'm just like, thank you. It means a lot because, you know, we had a bass vision, you know, we had a bass instrumentation that we were working with. And when we went to actually produce it as a track, you know, we changed up a few things, you know, added some more things. Barboy gave his, you know, insight. Daniela gave her insight. And I was just there like, you know what, I trust them. And I know that this is going to turn out well. And it really, really did. You know, I think listening to the song, especially if you're listening to it with like really good speakers, it's an experience, you know, from the lyrics to the instrumentation, the change in the vibe. I'll never forget the reaction of Shawnee B when he first heard that song. He was having a little show where he asked artists to send in their new music or just send in their music for him to give his, you know, 2 cents on it, to say how he feels about it and stuff. And he played it on an IG live, and that was the first time he was hearing the song. So, you know, the song start, you're not gonna think it's a reggae song because it started very like, you know, a nice little ballad. You probably feel say some other type of, you just don't expect it to turn out like how it turns out, right? And he heard it and he was listening to it and he was just like, okay. And then when the drum roll come in now and him hear the reggae, he was just like, wow, wait. You know, his whole reaction was just really interesting. I'll never forget it. So, you know, it's really just about making sure that the vibe that we want with the song is translated. So Barboy and Daniela, we did Big Girl Thing. With Queen, as I said, Queen was a juggle rhythm. So they reached out to me and they said, you know, are you interested in this project? And I said, yeah, sure. It was a project with all female artists from all over the world, which, you know, I'm all for the girl power. So I was just like, yeah, this is nice. And I actually like the rhythm. So I wrote on the rhythm, and Preston, who was the person who reached out to me to do the rhythm, he did the producing and stuff like that. So that worked out really great. it was a very simple project, not a lot of work in terms of, building the instrumental myself. So all I had to do was just feel the vibe, write the music, record it, and, send it back to them for them to finalize. And Queen is actually one of my favorite songs to sing. Like, to perform is one of my favorite songs to sing, especially if it's like acoustic style, stripped down. Love it. I will sing that song forever. Forever. Yeah, so what's the next song now? Mood. Right. So Mood was produced by Island Wave, and that is Rhythm Boss and Kalex, two amazing producers. Right. So I had the lyrics for Mood. I didn't have any instrumental. I just had the lyrics and the melody. And we went to a studio session. And it's funny, because in that studio session, I didn't think I was gonna sing. I just thought that we were gonna go into the studio session to hear the instrumental and probably work on it, build on it, and see how we feel. So in the studio session now, I'm hearing what they have in terms of the instrumentation, and I was just like, okay, I'm loving this. This is nice. And they eventually finished it. And then one of the producers, he was just like, yeah, I feel like you can go record now. And I was just like, what? I never know something like sing. I didn't know we were gonna sing. And he's just like, yeah, man, go around there. And I went around there and I sang on it, and the whole process of them sending back the mix and approving it and everything. I'm really, really glad with how it turned out. It was a different process for me, because with Big Girl Thing, it wasn't so like back and forth, like, oh, I don't like this, but I definitely learned from the process of recording Mood. And I'm really glad how it turned out. I think it's such a reflective song. It puts you in a very like grateful, just reflective, introspective kind of mood. And that's what I hear people say about it. So I think I did the right thing. But producing that song was definitely interesting. Yeah.
Right. And you said that as well, like songwriting come naturally to you. So I think you learned a lesson there in trusting your instincts. That is naturally, the energy naturally flowed out. Yeah.
And I actually learned a lesson to not be so nitpicky, because I can do that. I can do that where I'm just like, but I think that is what I learned. I learned to just be like, Joby, don't be ready to like point out every flaw. Just listen to it as a whole and see how you really feel about it. And I'm really glad that they were able to be honest with me. And I always say this, I really love to work with people who can be honest with me. I don't want to work with people who are just going to be like, yeah, Joby, you're doing a good job, just because they want to make me feel good. Like, that's really not why I'm doing music. So I really love working with people who can tell me like, Joby, this is not it. I feel like you can do better, or I feel like we should come again. I really, really need that. So I'm really glad that everybody was just like, Joby, this re-record is not it, let's just not, Yeah, and I really had to go back home and listen to the first one I recorded, and I was just like, nothing really never wrong with it, So headache now. So 3 Keys, they reached out to me and they were just like, we really like your sound. I wanted to listen to some of our beats, some of our rhythms, and see how you feel. And we had a meeting, my manager and I went, and they played a few rhythms for us, and they played the rhythm for Headache, and I was just like, I like this. And it was different, because I was just like, okay, this is more of like a dancehall feel. I've never really done that before. But we just really, really like the rhythm, like we really like it. So I told them that, I definitely want to try something for that rhythm, and went home, listened to it. And yeah, and then Headache just happened. It was something that I feel like, people are going to be able to relate to this. And I mean, how it starts off in terms of the lyrics, and then how it ends by just, me talking about the fact that, yes, stress me out, but at the same time, can we please work this out so we don't have to be, going through this right now?
I'm so glad you remember to mention Headache, because that's when I first heard the title, one thing about me, I can't take the whole heap of bawling all the time, So when I first heard the title Headache, I was like, ooh. And then when I listened to the first part of the song, I was like, but then I was surprised, because I'm glad that I gave it the opportunity. I'm glad that I gave it the time. So when I listened and heard how the song turned around, I said, oh, she clever. I said, oh, this she catch me with the one,
Yes.
I'm so glad.
So that process was, just basically just me writing to the rhythm. And even when I actually had the first studio session, I think there was a last part that I wasn't really so sure about, but I eventually fixed it in this session. And even that session was so interesting. That was such an interesting session. That was my first studio session where I had so many people in the booth. Like normally it's just me, my manager, and the producer, I'm good. I don't really want to bag of unnecessary people in my session them, and I want to bag of unnecessary energy, and I want a distraction. But because of the nature of that project and the producers had to be there, as well as their manager, it was a lot of people. And then I had a friend who stopped by to drop off something to my manager. So it was just like a lot of people. So I'm sitting in the booth and I'm just looking at everybody and I'm just like, wow, this is a lot of people. And I think it made me a little bit anxious in that session. I had to like call my manager. I'm just like, I don't know why, but I feel a little bit anxious. And she helped to calm me down. So that was an interesting session, but I got through it. And I remember at the end of the session, I was like, I don't know how I feel about it. You know, I always go into this like picky mood where I'm just like, no, it's not good. I don't know how I feel about it. And then I was feeling a little weird because at first, before I even recorded it, I was very excited about the song. I was just like, you know what, this is a vibe. This is different, you know, than what I've been putting out so far. But then I remember I left the studio session where I was having my little weird feelings. And then when I got the first mix, I was just like, this is it. This is it. I am in love. I remember I got the first mix and I was listening to that song every day. I listen to the Headache like no other song that exists. No other song that exists in the world. All I listen to is Headache. I would wake up, listen to Headache. Before I'm going to listen to Headache. And just play. I loved it so much. I fell in love with that song. I just think that it was just something different for me. You know, something different than what I've been doing. And I just love the instrumental, how it flowed, and then how I wrote to it, and how what I wrote flowed on the rhythm. I just loved it. I was so excited, very excited. My manager created. I couldn't wait until it was released, and then when it was released and people were actually liking it and vibing it, it's amazing. So yeah, so Headache was produced by 3 Keys, and yeah, I'm just really glad that I really did that song, and I'm glad that I was able to say that, you know, I like this rhythm, it's different, but I like it, and let's see how it turns out, you know. Yeah,
like I said, I mean, I'm really like, I'm excited about your career. I really am.
Thank you.
I really am. I see you blossoming every day. You're learning every day. You're trying something new, or even just the way that you interact. I only know you through social media. So the way I see you interacting with your audiences on social media, your visuals, the way that you're so creative, you know, and that comes through. That comes through.
Yes, thank you.
And with that being said, I was saying earlier, I think you've utilized the time during this pandemic so well. Like, big up yourself, big up your team, because it's not been easy. But like, all right, Kingston Creative, I think that performance was amazing. That performance.
It's one of my favorite performances. It was so fun. And then when I did that performance, it was like a really long while in terms of me not performing. So when I got the opportunity, I was just like, wow, I just have to give this my all because I miss singing. I mean, I remember just going to the rehearsal. I was just so happy. I was just like, oh my God, it's been so long since I've heard a live band. I was so happy. So yeah, that performance was really so good. I enjoyed myself. I really enjoyed myself.
Yeah. And like I said, I even seen that you've started a new vlog now, trying to let the audience know a bit more about you. So you're using the time. You're not just dead there. I say, oh gosh, what we are gonna do? I can't wait for it done. You know, like I really, like I said, I'm really excited about your career because you seem so driven, focused, and you're always trying to make sure that you stay relevant and stay up there. So I can imagine by the time entertainment opens back up, you don't have your plan set.
Yeah, that's the aim.
Yeah, you know, and you're giving yourself, because you we can say you're a new artist.
Yeah.
But you're giving yourself that time to grow. So rather than sitting down and freezing your talents, you're heating them up, you know, you're practicing, you're moving on, and you're using this opportunity so well. So I really commend you for that. I really do. I really do. How do you maintain your mental health nowadays and just remain sane with everything that's going on?
Oh, wow. That is such a great question. Mental health. Wow. That's so important. That is so important because I cannot be my best self and I cannot be the artist that people expect me to be and people want me to be, or the artist that people know me to be if I am not well. If I'm not well, it's impossible, you know? Or, I mean, I can try and I can put up a front, but eventually people are going to realize that, you know, something is off. Something is off with Joby. So for me, mental health is very, very important. It is very, very important for me to make sure that I am good. And I'm not going to lie, last year was a very rough year for me. It was very, very rough. Not only in terms of, you know, just dealing with the whole pandemic and everything that comes with that, but dealing with the fact that I'm also a photographer. So my income was affected very, 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 very drastically. And then apart from that, music was also affected. No more shows, no more going to live shows, no more like interacting with people a certain way. You have to be so sketchy. You have to be so like careful with how you do things. It was a lot for me to take in at once. It was really a lot. I remember I became so sad because I'm just like, oh my God, is the world ending? Like, am I not gonna get to have the experience of touring? Am I not going to get to release my first project? Am I not going to get to do these things that, you know, I've been looking forward to? So that was something I had to deal with. And just, you know, having to be in your house all the time, like that is not me. I'm a person who I love outside. I love to drive out. That's something I really love to do with my partner. We love to, you know, just go on the road or reach at some parish, reach at some river, reach at some place, not being able to like interact with my friends anymore. And I'm a very like social, extroverted person. I love being around people that I love. Not being able to, you know, just even if I'm not performing, like live shows is something that I really enjoyed. So I would go to live shows. And what I love about Kingston is there's always some kind of event where you can go and hear some live music, stuff like that you couldn't do anymore. So I think all of that affected me. And it's crazy because I think I realized that I was like depressed at the end of the year when I was coming out of it. I was just like, wow, Joby, you know, you were like depressed, you know, and that's something that I had to accept, like looking back at it and just seeing how I was behaving and how sometimes I would wake up and I was just like, I would just sleep because I'm just trying to run off the day. I'm just like, oh my God, I just want the next day to come because I was just out of it. I was really out of it and it was affecting different things. But what I always try to do is even when I was going through things, I really tried to still focus on what I can do. So if something with music came up, I just tried to put my best in it and still do it because, you know, we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't even know if we we're going to be here now in another year, still dealing with this whole pandemic. So it was a balance between, you know, trying to go with the flow, accept things for what they are, and move on. I think at the latter parts of the year, I really made a decision when I realized that something was really wrong. I made a decision that, you know, Joby, you have to try and change this because you have to be better for yourself first. And then you have to be better so that you can give yourself, you can give 100%. So, you know, I really took some time to you just be alone, spend some time with myself, do some introspection. And I, you know, did my little self-work, and I feel like I really started to feel like myself again 100% at the end of the year, like in December. That's really when I got back to myself. And I'm really happy that I was able to do that because sometimes you don't catch yourself. Sometimes you don't catch yourself. You just allow yourself to just, you know, go through the emotions. And sometimes you just need somebody to shake you and be like, you know, you probably just need to take some time for yourself. So mental health is very, 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 very important. And no, it's something that I have to keep at the top of my mind. I have to be like, Joby, if you need a rest, just rest. You know, it's okay. And I feel like sometimes we feel bad when we rest. I don't know if I'm the only person who has that problem, but sometimes when you rest, you feel bad. Like, I probably should be resting right now. I probably should be doing something, you know, because, you know, you're a hustler and you're trying to do this and da, da, da. But every now and then you just really need to take a break. You just need to take a break. You just need to probably, if it's going to the beach for you, or if it's, you know, spending time with your family members, or if it's just being alone and just not talking to anybody, shutting off your phone, whatever it is, it's very important. So I try my best to, you know, make sure that I'm on top of my game, make sure that I'm resting. Sometimes I have to just take a break from social media because social media is great, but it can be a lot. It can be very overwhelming, especially for me who has 2 pages, you know, it can be a lot. So it's very important. You have to take care of yourself because when you are well, it is better for you to do your work. It's better for you to write. It's better for you to put your best foot forward. So that's very, very, very important. And it's something I'm still learning. But now I feel like I have a better hold of it in terms of remembering that, Joby, yes, you're working, but make sure that you're okay. So if you're tired or if you just don't feel down, you don't feel up to date, it's fine to just, feel the feelings, because sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to feel the feelings and then you move on. So it's very important. I don't know how much time I'm going to say that, but it's very important. Very, very important.
Yeah, I mean, you can, me myself, I tend to find an area in my home which I call my little peace and serenity. My little low light in there.
Yeah.
And it's needed. It's needed sometimes, like you said, to get that peace,
Yeah.
But you mentioned something earlier, like going to Kingston. Now, Ochi is one of the tourist areas in Jamaica. Why did you move to Kingston from Ochi?
Wow. So people that say me a country girl, so them say people who do not people who live in Kingston, everywhere else other than Kingston is country for them.
Yeah.
I'm a country girl. So when I came to Kingston, it was just like a new world for me. It was a new experience. It was a bigger place, just the opportunities and the things that are available that I was not used to in Ocherios. I just felt like I just needed to stay. As I said earlier, when I moved to Kingston for college. I started working before I left college. So I was building a clientele. People knew me in Kingston, and that is how I would get work. So when I was finished with college, I was just like, it don't make sense for me to move back to Ochi. I've already basically built a life here. People know me. This is where I get most of my jobs. So might as well I stay in Kingston. And I love Kingston. Sometimes people are just like, why? You can't bother. I don't know if probably it's because I didn't grow up here, but I love Kingston. I mean, I feel like there's so much things to do. There's always somewhere that you can go. And I mean, from Kingston, you can go to this place, go to this place, go to that place. So I really just fell in love with the energy. I love the fact that, before the pandemic, there's always like an event that you can go to, listen to some music, stuff like that. I really love that. So apart from the fact that I felt like, most of my friends are here, the friends that I've made, and most of my clients are in Kingston. I just felt comfortable here, and I liked having my freedom. I loved having, independence. I grew up very sheltered. So for me, I just really loved being my own person, being my own independent self, and just enjoying the space. So that's why I moved to Kingston, because I really felt comfortable here.
I mean that is, Kingston to me is like the musical capital of Jamaica. And I've even spoken to many producer and and just many people in the music scene in Jamaica, and specifying to them like, maybe Jamaica really need a HQ, they really need a musical HQ. And just to teach the aspiring artists how to grow in the music industry, to have a hall of fame, what I mean? Just a nice academy, or a nice where people know, say, you know what, I'm Jamaican and I want to do music when I grow up. I'm heading to the music academy in Jamaica, or Jamaica HQ.
Yes. Yeah.
I really think it's needed, especially just to highlight and even distribution of music. And I really
in terms of that, I was recently, I don't know if you know about JARIA. JARIA is the Jamaica Reggae Association. I was recently appointed to be the artist for JARIA, and that's a music organization in Jamaica. And everything that you're saying is really what we're trying to do. We're really trying to do that, because I feel like the Jamaican music industry, it needs a lot of help. It needs a lot of help. We need a lot more structure, and I feel like we really need to, just make it a lot better, because Jamaican music is so important. It's so used, worldwide. People love our music, people respect our music, but I feel like us here, I don't think we have a grasp of certain things, and sometimes that affects why probably our music is not selling as how it should, why we don't get certain opportunities, or why certain things are just not happening for us. So that is what we're trying to do with JARIA. We're just really trying to see how we can better influence the industry, how we can tell people that if you need help, you can come here. So it's also about trying to educate musicians and artists in general, and it's not just for reggae. That's something that they clarified when I was in a meeting. It's not just for reggae. So even though it says reggae, it's really just for Jamaican music. So if you're Jamaican and you're making music, how can we help you? How can we assist you? So that's something that we're working on, because the Jamaican music industry really do need help. And I feel like if, we can come together and agree that it needs help and see how we can make things better, it will affect everybody. It will affect all the artists. Because I mean, as you said, Jamaica is so rich with talent, so rich with music. It's just for us to, own that and treat it the right way, so that we can be more appreciated and we can get the respect that we actually deserve. Yes.
All right. So with that being said, I do want to know, are you working on a full album?
I'm not working on an album right now. I'm just really focusing on working on singles. I'm also trying to work on some videos as well. So I'm not doing an album just yet. Right now, my team and I, we just really want to see how many, good singles we can put out there. And then when we have, a bit more in terms of a better fan base, it would make more sense at that time to do like a project. So right now, just working on making sure that we put out really good singles, put out good visuals, and then a project can happen. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to the project for sure. Really looking forward to it.
Listen, everything that you do, I'm going to try my best to keep up, because when that album drop, me no want miss. I want to be here. I want to be part of the mix when that, because I said, I mean, I said it several times already. I'm really, really excited about your career. So it's something that I really want to watch and keep up. And I hope you keep in contact here as well.
Thank you. I will. Thank you.
Are there any collaborations that you really want to do? Is there anybody that you actually really want to collaborate with? Is collaborations even your thing?
Yeah, I have no problems with collaborations at all. I mean, I always say this, before I became an artist, I was a fan of music, and I was a fan of Jamaican music. So I have a lot of Jamaican artists that I love their music. I fan out, and when I see them, I'm just like, oh my God, even though I'm an artist. So yeah, I definitely want to collab with other artists. I always say this, I really want to work with Mortimer. I also really want to work with Runckus and Royal Blue. I really love those artists, so I would really definitely love to work with them. As a female artist, I probably would really love to work with Janine. I don't know how that would happen, but I really love Janine. I think people who follow me know that I love Janine. I'm always talking about Janine because Janine is Janine and she's awesome. So yeah, I definitely really would love to collab. And I don't only want to collab with like artists, I also want to collab with producers and stuff like that. So yeah, man, collaboration is definitely something that I definitely will be doing more of, and I'll be looking forward to it for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, I'm moving on to my my final questions now. These questions I ask every guest. So the first one, if you could have dinner and speak with anybody ever, past, present, anybody, who would it be?
Wow, that's hard. Wow, I'm thinking of two people. So it's either Amy Winehouse or Nina Simone, but I'm gonna choose Nina Simone. Yeah, I'm gonna choose Nina Simone. I really love Nina Simone. And I discovered Nina Simone as a very integral part in my self journey. At that time, as I said before, I was, becoming reacquainted with my voice. I was singing more, I was experimenting, and I discovered Nina Simone in that time. And it really impacted me, just her journey, her work, the struggles that she had to go through as a woman in the industry and also as a Black woman. I think it was just really, really amazing, all the things that she had to go through and just how talented she is. So yeah, I would definitely want to have dinner with Nina Simone for sure.
Yeah, seriously. And she's an amazing talent in herself. And like you said, everything that she went through in order to reach where she got to.
Yeah.
And not getting her accolades really until she was in her 80s. And
yes, she was in that time when, racism was still very, 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 very strong. So she had to go through a lot.
Right. Okay, and this leads me to my main question. Joby J, what is your message that you're sending to the world?
All right, my message would be, self-love for sure. My message would be, loving yourself, owning that. It would also be, the importance of a connection to a higher being, whatever you believe in. That's very important to me. So self-love, just love for others, respect, and just trying your best to live the best life that you can, and believing in yourself, because that's very important. So yeah, I think that would be my message.
Joby
Yeah.
J, thank you so much for blessing this
Thank
platform.
you.
It's been an honor speaking with you.
Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe so you can be notified about future interviews. Have a lovely day. If you would like to promote your music on Love Radio, find us on all social media platforms or email contact@luvradio.co.uk.